Hello, good morning. Today's material is the second meeting. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Cindy Audibe. I'm from study program ICT. Start. There are three common objectives. The first, argue. The second, persuade. The third, inform. The next, let's explain starting from what to do. The first, preparation. Before starting the presentation so that it goes well as swiftly, we must prepare ourselves so as not to get nervous in front of the audience before training ourselves to speak prepare about material to convey. Number 2, equipment to use. What equipment we want to use during the presentation must be prepared before starting the presentation. For example, such as laptop, projector, flip chart, or whiteboard. The third, how to deliver a presentation. When deliver a presentation, show your passion to the audience. Start with a good opening presentation and convey the context of the presentation in a concise and straightforward manner. Number 4, the structure of a presentation. It is important because it helps use as a presentation in conveying the ideas that we will convey to the audience currently. Staying focused on the main idea to be conveyed and remembering the important points or things we convey. Creating presentation structure start with the opening, message, and closing. Number 5, language of presentation. Verbal language is the main channel of the presentation you do. If this channel is not optimal, then you should choose your body language or your visual approach. Your message will not reach the audience with good example in spoken language, efficient use of sentence, clarity of voice. There is also the importance of body language for presentation, posture, movement, and gesture. The gesture that will be discussed in this section are hand movement during the presentation. The gesture you use can reinforce the message you are conveying verbally. Number 6, the presentation itself. Convey the presentation itself to the audience well. The next slide, preparation. Why? Preparation is needed before the presentation so that it goes well. Building confidence in speaking in front of a crowd in indeed difficult. Therefore, self-confidence must be built and trained not to be nervous. For example, you can talk in front of a mirror to practice speaking. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Or you can also follow school community organization. Mastering the stage during the presentation is important to enjoy. Also give full confidence to the audience to listen to our presentation so that the presentation is not boring. Give the audience the opportunity to ask questions. Yes. The building confidence. Use confident in ourselves, and less nervous. The audience confident in us, the presenter, giving you control of our presentation. We are in charge. The audience listen positively our message. Okay, the next place presentation. What to consider in the preparation? Objective is argue, inform, persuade, and train. Yeah. You will achieve every great presentation if you don't know what you want to achieve yourself. So after, you have to explore the audience information and plan the presentation activity, then set the goals of your presentation. Is the purpose of your presentation to provide information? Is it to motivation or to influence or persuade? All of this should be clear at the outset, because by knowing your goals, you will know how you can achieve the goals. Okay, number 2, audience. Who? How many? Their names. How much they know. Yeah. Understand your audience better. In the presentation session, you need to understand audience expectation. If you can meet the audience expectation, then your entire presentation session will fail. Before the presentation, we have prepared to explain what the purpose is this presentation, so that the audience is more interested in following it. Why did your audience come to hear the presentation? Find out what their hope are. Are they looking for a solution to their problem? Yes, like that. Number 3, venue and facilities available. Possible activity, group dynamic. Yeah. If you want to invite the audience to come, we also have to prepare a place where the facility and the presentation are like, and the room is comfortable or not for us and the audience too. How long will take for our presentation to finish? Okay, method. How to make the presentation? First, make a narrative. The second, use a format. The third, improve the presentation. And the last, content. Relevant, tuned, or objective. The content of the presentation must be completely clear and in accordance with the purpose at the beginning. Rehearsal. Why? Okay. The first, make you familiar with what to say. The most influential people in practicing speaking are family. Make it a habit to talk to good parents or use English to practice so that they become accustomed to being in public speaking. Number 2, make you familiar with the equipment. By using PowerPoint, make it a habit to make slides that are as interesting as possible, using a projector or using our mic so that we know when we talk using a mic. It will be different. Number 3, identify weakness or area to improve. identify your own weakness. Maybe he is shy when speaking in front of a crowd, nervous and other things, and weakness that all we have made it better. Learn weakness is important. Check the time needed. The time needed is not too long so that the audience does not get boring listening. We give a little pause the other thing. Yes, that's all we need the practice to get used to it. Everything is possible because we are used to it. The next, equipment. Overhead projector. It can be used in daily life. The user can write or draw directly on the transparency while in use. Projector equipment is very easy. User need a projector in the presentation, especially if the audience cannot imagine a lot if we only use a laptop help of a projector for this user. It is difficult to present. The next equipment, the flip chart, consistent of several leaves of paper that we flip or turn over. Limited to small presentation. For presentation that are limited to a minimum room of 50 participants, maybe if you need a flip chart as writing or an illustration, take notes so that the audience understand. The next equipment, notebook, used in most presentation. Display points, graphic, animation, moving, etc. And high flexibility, edit presentation quickly. Okay, the next equipment, handout, to be given at the end of the presentation. But why? There are those who think that handouts should be given at the beginning of the presentation, would think that handouts should be taken and of the presentation. But you have to understand if is when you decide to display handouts, even if it's at the beginning or at the end of the presentation. You have to know first what your goal is to make presentation handout. If your handouts is a paper that will be used as the material, then sharing it the beginning is the right step. If your handouts is not a paper that will be subject discussion and your goal is to serve as a catch-all presentation material, then you can distribute the handout at the end of the presentation. When you distribute the handout after presentation and you need provide information at least the community that at the end of the presentation all the audience will get the handout. This is to record material notes during presentation because he thinks there are not handouts to bring. The next slide, when using PowerPoint, avoid the first reading what is on the screen word by word. Number 2, too much information, too much detail. Number 3, too many color and graphic. Number 4, too much motion. And the next, using clip card everyone uses. And printing in all caps or other hard to read fonts. And the next, printing and distributing handouts. Being a presenter like a seminar is not easy. We have to understand when the audience feels comfortable and bored with our presentation. Only using PowerPoint is important if you talk again so that the audience understand the points we made on the slide. For what to consider. The first, nerve. Number 2, audience rapport. Number 3, body language. Number 4, cultural background. Number 5, voice quality. Number 6, visual aids. And the last, audience reaction. What to consider? We have to consider all of the body movement. Don't just stay still. The voice must be clearly. What kind of the reaction from the audience. And the next, delivery nerve. First, impression counts. And normal, a little nervous at the beginning. How to overcome? Good preparation rehearsal and speak slowly and calmly. Convince ourselves, I can do it. And don't worry, after a few moments we will relax and gain confidence. The next slide, deliver body language. Okay, our body is speaking to our audience. Even before we open our mouth, our body, our clothes, our walk, our glasses, our haircut, our expression. And what to do? Sit, move fast or slowly, face or with face. The next slide, deliver cultural background. Try to learn about any particular cultural matter they might affect our audience. Why? Possibility for cultural misunderstanding. Okay, misunderstanding that occur in a multicultural work and environment are often caused by culture. This misconception in common people from different cultural backgrounds, so that the value and beliefs that are held will also be different. And the next slide, delivery voice quality. Thank you for your attention. This material today, the second meeting. See you the next time.